the charges against her are first-degree murder.
She is not a murderer.
Aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child.
She loves that child.
And 4 counts of providing false information to a law enforcement officer.
Okay, so you purposely misled us, so that was a lie.
That was a lie. She's leading you to a place, but she's not telling you to the right exact location to which apartment it is, because she's afraid if someone walks in that something may happen to Kaylee. You guys are going to put Kaylee in a coffin.
Investigators found evidence of chloroform and human decomposition in her mother's trunk.
There was no odor in the car when it was towed down to the towing company. Maybe someone put a body in the car after it was towed to the tow yard.
The person who was in the back of my granddaughter's car is not my granddaughter.
As we go to air just hours ago on the hot seat, Top Mom's longtime friend, Keo Marie Cruz. Now, Unleash Your Lawyers, Renee Rockwell, defense attorney out of Atlanta, Alan Ripka, high-profile lawyer in New York. Renee, question number 1 on cross for Keo Marie Cruz. Didn't you sell your story to the Inquirer for $20,000?
Bob, and you know what? It makes the story sexier and more appealing if it's got a little more whistle and a little more bells, Nancy. So that, what does that do to her? Discredit her.
What about it, Ripka?
Well, just because you sell your story doesn't mean it's not true. There's some important information that only she would know. And if it's corroborated by other people and other aspects of evidence, it's still going to be a credible story.
Okay, Keo Marie Cruz, just out of the hot seat within the last couple of hours, actually sold her story to the Inquirer magazine, making about $20,000, according to our sources. Can't confirm that number. To Mark Klass, president and founder of Klass Kids Foundation. Look, Mark, the state's had bigger problems in the past. Remember, practically every witness in the O.J. Simpson murder case had sold their story to somebody.
Well, no, absolutely, and it looks like this woman is just another person that's jumped on the Kaylee gravy train and found a way to financially exploit her situation. It's really very sad. I'd like to comment, though, quickly on this whole idea of special consideration from the Sheriff's Department, and it seems to me that special consideration should be offered for individuals who are cooperating with law enforcement and trying to solve the case. And we know that Casey's been doing anything but that since she became involved. She's tried to misdirect in every way that she possibly can. And as soon as her mother understood the implications of saying that there may have been a dead body in the trunk of her car, I believe that she's been misdirecting as well. So certainly they don't deserve, in any sense of the word, a special meeting away from the eyes of the camera or the deputies.
You know, Mark, you and I have been there before. Let's just put it out there what it really is. While this little girl's body was decomposing, tripled bagged in a garbage bag like she's trash out in the woods, Tot Mom was leading police on a wild goose chase that lasted for weeks. You know, I would argue to the jury, if I were the state, what the stages of decomposition are as weeks pass. Day 2, day 5, day 12, day 25, while Tot Mom's behind bars ordering up expensive bottled water and chocolates for herself. You know, that's what was happening out at this burial ground. That's what the truth is, according to prosecutors. Mark Klass.
That's absolutely true, and that's why I think that they should really reconsider the death penalty in this case and look at it, take a very hard look at whether this woman deserves it, and if this woman was an old black man, would they be treating her with the same kind of kid gloves?
I guess not. Out to Vince Velasquez, homicide detective and hostage negotiator. You know, Vince, they're going to come down on Keo Marie Cruz for selling her story. All right, fine. She shouldn't have sold her story. But who do you think Tot Mom's hanging out with? Nuns and priests and virgins? You know what? Of course some of these witnesses are going to sell their story. They're friends of Tot Mom's.
Yo, you're right. You know, her information is critical. If she's telling them information from the beginning of where to go in the area, you got to look at that with some credibility. Is she going to be attacked at trial? I would say, yeah. The defense is going to go after her and say, you know, your intention all along was to get paid and get a story, but you got to take this for what it is, piece by piece, and look at it and see how it fits. And I think the information is going to be good.
Yeah, you know, back to the lawyers, Rockwell Ripka, you got to take your witnesses as you find them. I'll never forget, I had an armed robbery case happen around 4 a.m. behind a strip club. My victim was a stripper dressed up in a cheerleader outfit. I told her to wear her Sunday best and come in and be pure and prim and proper on the stand. The jury smelled that a mile away. That's the last time I ever tried to put perfume on a pig. It will backfire on you. I just go ahead and put it out there up front, Ripka, you know, as I was giving my opening statement. And then shore it up by saying, but we can prove Kia Marie Cruz is telling the truth because she knows this inside information that nobody else would know. That's the only way they can deal with Kia Marie Cruz.
That's correct, Nancy. I mean, juries are very, very smart, and they'll see right through when you try to put up some farce. And at the end of the day, let them know what this woman's really about. Let them know she wanted to make money, and let them judge her credibility on the details of the story.
And on the other hand, Renee, you've got this woman. I think Kia Marie Cruz has some children. You know what? She made some money. That's not the worst thing in the world, all right? She hasn't been impeached under oath. She doesn't have a rap sheet. This is not the worst thing that can happen to a state's witness, Renee.
No, and as long as they think it's the truth. But, Nancy, let me just point out one thing. Had a cop sold his story, he'd have been fired.
I want to go to Dr. Marty Makary, physician and professor of public health at Johns Hopkins. We know that 3D renderings of the crime scene have been made. We know that in the last 48 hours, digital, we think photos or video of the duct tape around the tiny skull has been delivered to the defense. What information do you get from 3D?
Well, the defense will try to use this to say that, for example, the body might have been at a depth which the mother could not possibly put a child at a depth at that level. So it's going to be used to sort of counter or preemptively deal with the defense argument that maybe the body was intentionally put at a depth which the mother was not capable.
Very quickly to Teresa in North Carolina. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Nancy. Let me tell you, you and your twins are such a gift from heaven. Thank you for all you do.
Listen, I do not deserve that compliment.
Well,
thank you. Now, the twins may deserve it because they really were a miracle. And in 2 days, they'll be coming up on 17 months.
Oh,
you know,
my
praise the
goodness.
Lord. What's your question, dear?
All right. With all the dishonesty that has really gone on since this case has begun, do you really feel that the jury will be able to come up with a not guilty verdict, or will this be just another case like O.J. Simpson? And do you think also that Cynthia Anthony will testify truthfully when she is called upon?
Teresa, when you don't know a horse, look at his track record. So when Cindy Anthony gets on the stand, I believe she will hedge to protect her daughter. She loves her daughter. As far as rendering a not guilty verdict, could they do it? I went down in flames on O.J. Simpson swearing, no way could that jury render a not guilty verdict. Well, they did. To Dawn in Washington. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
Yes, I have a question. I've been watching the case since the beginning, and I noticed there was a police officer some time ago that lost his job on about lying about his relationship with Casey Anthony.
Right.
And I was wondering, is there a way that him and Casey Anthony might have had some kind of thing going on, and have they done a DNA test to see if maybe he might be Kaylee's father?
Interesting. To Mark Williams, remember the sheriff that lost his job for that relationship, let me say euphemistically, with Top Mom? They did DNA, parental DNA on her, on little Kelly, correct?
That's right, but we still don't know who that father is. She has never come forward with the answer to that question. She says basically it was a one-night stand when she was 19 years old.